Our meditation for today's liturgical readings on Thursday of the 17th week in Ordinary Time concern parables. The first reading from Jeremiah illustrates God revealing a parable to the prophet, while the Gospel illustrates that same God in Jesus Christ revealing another parable to his disciples. Recalling the Gospel from exactly 1 week ago, last Thursday, our Lord explained that he, as God, teaches in parables to reveal the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. Two mysteries are set before us today: the parable of the potter in the first reading and the parable of the net in the Gospel. And what mysteries do they reveal? Jeremiah's parable of the potter concerns the kingdom of David. Only the first 6 verses of Jeremiah 18 are read in today's liturgy, but reading that chapter further reveals the meaning of the parable. Quote, "Behold, like the clay in the potter's hand, so are you in my hand. Behold, I am shaping disaster against you and devising a plan against you. Return every one from his evil way and amend your ways and your deeds." End quote. To the clay vessel that's being shaped by the potter, it would seem like disaster if it became so malformed that the potter had no other choice but to reshape it. That's what happens with all of us when we become so malformed by sin. Our Lord gives us better formation, but to us, that new formation feels as if our whole world is being destroyed. In other words, from the perspective of clay, malformation feels like good formation, while right formation feels like cruelty by God. The temptation during those moments will be to indulge in sinful pleasures, to stoop down into temporary gratification in an effort to escape the sensation of being reformed by God to a more virtuous shape. And what shape is that? Nothing more or less than the image of Jesus Christ, who was like us in every way but sin, and who learned obedience by what he suffered, to quote the letter to the Hebrews. We too are to learn that same lesson, the lesson of being clay in the hand of the master craftsman of our soul. But God will never, ever force us against our will. If we are like clay in the hand of the potter, then we are self-determining clay. We can either allow God to reshape us, which means that we will undergo some measure of suffering in the reshaping, or we can reject this omnipotent potter. Yet the consequence of this rejection is revealed by our Lord in today's Gospel. The parable of the net reveals that at the end of this world, all people will be gathered to the Lord. That's a fact of faith. This indiscriminate and consummate gathering of saints and sinners might seem like a violation of our freedom, for all will be brought to judgment. None can escape. But the final judgment violates our freedom with the same violation committed by the law of gravity. It is an intrinsic part of creation. If we fall from a great height of a structure, our bodies will suffer when connecting with the world. If we fall from the great depths of sinfulness, our souls will suffer when connecting with divine love. When we are gathered together at the end time, like fish in a net, before the great judgment seat of God, not against our freedom, but against our expectation of freedom, then his final judgment against us will be a thorough examination of our souls and a revelation of our freedom. We will be judged by how we let divine love reshape us into the image of the divine Son, or by how we used our freedom to reject the potter's reformative plan for our life. And when we are judged in the final judgment, the parable of the net will be fully revealed. Quote, All that is good will be kept from all that is bad, and all that is bad will be thrown away and thrown into the fiery furnace where there will be wailing and grinding of teeth." End quote. So that's how we can look at both the first reading and the gospel. And I'm thankful that you all have stuck with me through this video and have enjoyed listening to it. Allow yourselves today to become more fully a part of God's plan by allowing Him to reshape your life where it needs to be reshaped. I know that'll be hard at times, but it's important. And when we're experiencing some difficulty in our lives, when we're experiencing suffering, or if we're feeling divided from God or apart from God or undergoing a dark night of the soul, that's an opportunity to turn to God and simply to say to Him, "Lord, I'm allowing you to reshape me right now, because at the end of my life, when I face the final judgment, I want to look back with you and say thank you for reshaping me more into the image of your Son." So God bless you all. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like it and share it, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch more wonderful videos by Scott Hahn, by Dr. Bergsma, by Professor Curtis Mitch, and by many more. God bless you all.